Hi, everybody. Welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Tommy, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Aaron.
Hello, everyone.
Today, we have a very special guest. Our friend Eric from Twitter is going to be joining us today to talk about the first season of Knots Landing. Stay tuned. Welcome to the show, Eric.
Hi, I'm happy to be here. I'm so excited you guys asked me to join in.
So today, we're going to talk about specifically the first season of Knots Landing. Aaron has never seen the show, and this is his first time watching the full season.
Well, I had watched my mom watching it.
It doesn't count. You don't remember.
I was always bored. I remember being bored.
You weren't old enough to be able to comprehend.
I wasn't old enough to appreciate the greatness that is Knots Landing.
So let's start with the pilot. I guess we should go over the basic plot. Valene and Gary Ewing moved to Knots Landing into the house that Miss Ellie bought them from
Lucky.
Dallas. Sid and Karen have Sid's daughter visiting them, his 18-year-old daughter, and for 2 weeks, and she's causing a little bit of mischief. What did you think about the pilot, Aaron?
I loved it. I did. Did not like Sid and Karen's, well, I guess Karen's stepdaughter, but she's only there for a week. Like, they really threw a lot of storyline for 1 week. It's like they were building it, and then it's like, bye. I was just like, okay, all right, maybe she'll come back. And then she's not spoken about again until her mom shows up, who's trying to steal daddy back. Mm-hmm. I was just like, okay, well, I guess I don't know why she left so soon. That would have been interesting.
What about you, Eric? What did you think about Annie?
I thought she was awesome. I don't know how they didn't keep her on for longer than one episode. I thought she caused enough trouble. I think she may have slept with Kenny because we know he's a dirty dog. We're not really sure if they did.
So something I noticed while we were watching the pilot a couple of days ago is Kenny and Ginger don't have furniture. They have beanbags or like pillows on the floor. I never noticed that before.
Well, by the end of it, he doesn't even have a stereo. So sorry, I just finished the last episode not too long ago.
And something else I noticed.
Stereo equipment.
Yeah, right.
The whole time, I'm like, okay, I bought the DVD on one of my little trips my fiance and I went on, and the back of the box says like the original Desperate Housewives. So the whole season I'm watching it, I'm trying to figure out which Knots Landing character is which Desperate Housewife.
The equivalent, okay.
And I feel like Val is Terry Hatcher's character, Susan. She's a little sad, you know. Karen is Lynette because they're very strong, very strong will, really just boom, going for it.
I could see that.
Ginger is Gabby, because she has a successful husband and she's kind of just
the young one.
Yeah. And then Laura, is it Laura?
Yeah, mm-hmm. Laura.
Okay, she's the Brie because she's just very much everything needs, like, I feel like they need things to be perfect, but their lives are completely crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with that assessment, I guess.
The only thing was missing was Nicolette Sheraton's character, but she shows up in later seasons.
Yes. I don't know who Nicolette could be compared to on that show.
I don't either. So I will say, okay, I knew a little bit about Knots Landing, so I knew Karen's first husband isn't her actual husband. That Mac, I think's his name, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So I was like, oh, don't get too attached to Sid because he won't be here long. And I like Sid.
Sid is the best.
Sid too. Go ahead, Eric.
Sid is the best. I'm like, He just is like how he just is so chill and relaxed all the time, no matter what crazy's around him.
Uh
I guess that's why he didn't last.
huh.
Didn't keep up.
Well, I think I read the actor didn't want to do a TV series anymore. That's why he left.
I'm so tired. If you don't want to do a television series, don't sign up for a television series. Like,
But he later regretted it. He said he regretted leaving.
I
Really?
would have too.
He
It's
should
the
have
longest.
stayed.
It's the longest running like primetime soap opera, whatever.
Mhm. You know,
It's kind of even with Dallas, even though the first season's considered a miniseries. But so how did we all feel about the second episode being a direct crossover with Dallas? Did you think it was too soon?
No, I
Think
loved
it
it.
was smart?
I love Karen and JR together. I kind of wanted to see them go at it more often. I was like, he needs to come back sooner.
Mhm.
You know, they probably promoted that the hell out of that.
Oh, of course.
They were like Larry Hagman on Knots Landing.
I would have been promoting the hell out of that. Like Karen, I feel like gave him a run for his money.
Mhm.
And that, you know, it's like, oh, JR met his match.
Yeah, that's how you knew how strong Karen was, by seeing that episode.
See, my favorite character at first was Val. Like, I was really drawn to Val and her little, like, oh, just her ditziness. But then Karen showed up, and I'm like, oh, I'm here for Karen.
Who's your favorite character, Eric?
I honestly don't know if I could pick one.
Are they currently on the show in season 1?
Are they in season 10 now? Yeah, I guess Valene. I really like all of them. I like their chemistry together. It's like, especially season 1, I felt like it really brought everyone together pretty well. They wrote really well for all the characters and relationships, and I really can't pick one that I like.
I know one I do not like, Richard. For the whole first season, I kept texting Tommy, I hate Richard.
And I'm like, I know.
He's like, he's got some redeeming qualities. I'm like, when?
He has moments.
Okay.
I enjoy his friendship with Karen. They have moments. She seems to be the only one that he listens to that can kind of like put him in his place, and he just kind of cowers to her.
Yes, he does.
And he doesn't take offense to what she says to him. And I enjoy that. She's
actually closer with Richard than she is with Laura.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You pretty much tell that through the series.
And you'll see in future seasons and episodes.
We're not talking about future seasons and episodes, Tommy.
I'm just saying there are moments.
Not many moments, but there are moments.
I feel bad for Richard when he feels like a failure and Laura tries to be there for him. But I just hate his chauvinistic attitude. I hate the way he's mean to Laura.
Yes. I think that's why I hate him.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
And when he was so easily cheated on Laura, which
I know
she'd went to the bar not long before that, but still.
Okay, so I have a question because I always feel like it's a little muddled. Did she sleep with that man that she knew in the episode where JR came? She did?
Yeah.
Oh, so she cheated first then.
Well, she did it because she thought it was going to help Richard or whatever, and Richard wanted her to do it in some way.
Yes. And then based off of the episode The Lie, I feel like it's not the first time she's done it.
Oh, yeah, in that bar, she was like, she'd been there before. I mean, not like, I'm not saying that in a mean way or anything, but like she wasn't like nervous to walk in there.
Right.
Yeah. Like she knew where to go.
Yeah. She knew her.
Yeah. So was Laura raped? Because she did say no.
Oh,
but then she said yes. But I feel like she only said yes because she didn't want to get physically hurt.
Oh no,
She just kind of gave in.
there was no consent there whatsoever, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. She just
I
liked the
feel like
attention.
it's a very muddy episode as far as that's concerned. Because she's raped, but she's lying about the circumstances of how she was raped because she doesn't want Richard to find out that she was at a bar in the middle of the day looking to cheat on him, basically.
And then he does that a few episodes later when she's out of town.
Mm-hmm.
They have an interesting relationship.
We skipped over the teacher one.
Yeah, I was just about to go back to that.
Oh yeah, Karen. Oh yeah, we
this is
jump
why
around
Eric's
a lot.
here. He's gonna keep you on track because you bounce around.
I'm prepared.
I bounce
My
around. My DVD, 4 of my episodes didn't work, so I had to return it.
What?
Sad. I know. I was heartbroken, but I made a friend out of it, so it's okay.
Yeah, I
Did you
had to
get to
send
keep the
him
whole season?
episodes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, first of all, how did we think the teacher was cute? I thought he was kind of cute.
Cute in a creepy way.
He kind of reminded me of Dusty Farlow on Dallas.
I love Dusty.
I love Dusty. Do you know who Dusty is, Aaron?
Mm-mm.
Why are you on this show?
Because I'm the one that puts all the pieces together. No.
You need to be educated.
I thought you've seen Dallas, no?
I've seen the reboot. I've seen all of it, and then I've seen season 1 and 2, but not the DVDs are kind of expensive. So
Are they?
when you're broke, they are.
I mean, I don't know. I got them all as presents. I always ask for Christmas and birthday for all the seasons.
I had to prioritize my seasons of what I wanted.
It was streaming for free on Amazon Prime, but then they just stopped.
I just saw that. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But all right, since you don't know who Dusty is, never mind. But yeah, the teacher.
I thought the episode was good. I thought it was really
Mm-hmm.
his teaching techniques were way ahead of their time.
And that's where Sid stood out to me because he was just like, oh, well, that's what he does. You know, like, he didn't care that he just kissed his wife in front of everybody.
You know, if that was real life, they wouldn't have just sat there. He would have punched him or something.
Well, not Sid, because Sid's so good.
I
But
don't
all the
know.
other husbands probably would have.
I'm in the South. That teacher would have been fired before we even had the PTA meeting.
Really?
Probably. We don't talk about sex before marriage, and no. My takeaway from my health class in school was sex equals AIDS, you die.
Yeah, that was pretty much the message.
I remember chapter 8. Like I've been traumatized by it. It's chapter 8.
So something that stood out to me, well, one thing that stood out to me was that a payphone, and the fact that it was only 10 cents.
Oh,
yeah.
every time they were buying stuff and it was just so cheap, I was just like, must be nice.
Also, the fact that Sid thought that buying pots and pans for Karen would be a romantic gift.
Things never change. However, appliances, I wouldn't be upset about.
I wouldn't be upset about it. What also stuck out to me was the fancy new thing that there were like no stick pots and pans. Like I always just grew up with that. I never thought about it.
I had John. I was like, John, look, this is how old this is. Like, and we talk a lot about set stuff too. The kitchens, the color of the kitchens.
You love them or hate them?
Oh no, of course I don't love them. But it brings back so many memories from like going to like grandparents' houses or great grandparents' houses who had those colors schemes.
Yeah, for sure. Laura and Richard had the worst kitchen. That red and white crap.
Yeah. It's funny. The only house that I really always try to navigate through the scenes is Gary and Valene's. In different seasons, you kind of get different angles of the kitchen. And there's like 2 entryways to the kitchen, and I'm like, okay, that way's to the dining room, and that way's to the like front door where the stairwell is. Like I always try to figure out like what angle they're standing at. It's just something stupid I do.
They
But
may have used it for another set because yeah, it always their house for some reason always looks different to me too.
Val and Gary,
Mm-hmm.
I feel
And it
like they
changes.
redecorated it a lot. They changed the color of the walls.
Mm-hmm. It was pink. It's peach. It's every color. It's been blue, I think now. Where I'm
Yeah.
at.
But back to Lily Mae. Yeah,
Oh.
I know.
I
I like the actress, but she always irritates me.
oh no, I was completely irritated by her, but there was something about her that I was just like, I kind of felt bad for her because she just still chasing her dreams, not giving up. But then when you completely ignore your daughter, I was like, Mama, help me, Mom. And I love it every time they bring Southern accents into Knox Landing because it's just like it's fun. So every time she's like, Mama, Mama, I love it.
Yeah, Aaron, how did you feel when she went, Mama?
I loved it. I can't help it.
Gave me chills.
I always mute the TV when I know it's coming.
But I think it's interesting though that the way that Val, like her mom treated her and how she feels, but then just Lucy, it's like, go on back to Dallas now. And I'll continue on with my life. So
I have a lot of problems with Miss Ellie and Jock for letting that happen to Lucy. So we have to go into that other time.
So they kind of added on to the story on this show by adding Lily Mae to the backstory of being turned away, and that's why she got caught by those. What do they call them? Good old boys.
Oh, goons. Goons is the words I'm looking for.
Yeah, goons.
Because prior to this, we just knew that JR hired some guys to take the baby away from her. Now we see that she tried to go to Lily Mae, and Lily Mae turned her away because she didn't want whoever she was with to know she was a grandmother.
Right. She truly is an asshole. She really is. I mean, like that whole, even after Val broke down in front of the whole party, she still went on about her dreams and I was like, this lady, brutal.
And the whole dessert thing annoyed me.
Oh my God. Yes.
Like, this tastes terrible. We should give it to them because they don't know any better.
They won't know that because they're pretty much they're fancy and we're not. So
did you watch everybody's reaction to it? It's the best when you really have to watch everybody and it's just funny. Meanwhile,
Richard's the only one that really enjoyed it.
What does that say about him? No.
It really did make me want apple fritters, though. Like, we have an apple festival by me, and because of Knots Landing, I always look for the apple fritters. So, Sid's ex-wife came to town. I know I'm skipping the motorcycle episode. I think it's the worst episode of television ever.
Oh my God, I did not like it. Yeah, I did not like that. Yeah.
I hate that episode.
The only part I liked about that is the bonding of the neighborhood. The neighbors, how they came together in the end and fought them off. That's the only part. Like, seriously, maybe 3 minutes of it I liked, but besides that, I didn't really like it either.
Yeah, I think it's the worst episode of season 1.
Of probably the series, to be honest, in my opinion. Because I really can't think of another episode that I don't like as much as that one.
I've only seen 13, so I've got to go with that one.
I'm just going to say an episode title and hope Eric knows what I'm talking about. I don't enjoy the 3 sisters in season 3.
That's very creepy.
Yeah. We'll talk about that when we get to season 3, but you know what I'm talking about.
See, not supposed to jump to the future, but here we are.
But it's fine because you don't know.
Well, now I'm going to want to Google 3 Sisters Knox Landing.
No, don't do it. It'll take the creepy away from you.
So Sid's first wife came to town, and I feel like the way she was portrayed wasn't how Annie described her. Annie, when she said, she's resting, getting straight, I was like, is she in rehab? Does she have mental issues?
She
Like,
on drugs.
yeah.
And then this
I just feel like,
sophisticated woman walks in.
yeah.
We're like,
I mean, I could see her traveling the world. Like Annie said that she was dragged to Istanbul. Like I could see that part, but it just didn't add up with the description that she said to Valene for me.
maybe she has a problem spending money, and that's what when she gets straight by not spending so much money, trying to be all fancy. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I love the actress. She's great.
Yeah.
Did you watch Melrose Place, right?
Yes.
She was
she on Melrose?
Matt's mom.
Oh, that's where I know her. I knew her from something.
The homophobe.
Wow, I didn't put that together. Ooh, good catch. I'm usually good at that.
No, what surprised me the most though was Karen was just kind of like, well, if you need to do this thing to get it out of your system, you know what? Go for it. I was like, no, girl, no.
Again, that's how strong Karen is. She was confident in her relationship with Sid, and it paid off. It worked for her.
I mean, I'm confident in mine, but I don't think I could be like, sure, have fun.
I know, right? I would
Come
never
back
do
when
it
you're
that way.
done.
What if he had done it, got it out of his system, and then decided to be with Karen? She would just be okay with the fact that he slept with his ex.
See, now
She
I'd be
probably
like,
wouldn't.
oh, I knew you were going to do it. Just like a yeah.
I can't believe she slept with Richard, though.
Ew.
Who? Oh yeah. When she, I was like, that's a step down.
Couple steps.
Like any warm body will do, really, Richard.
And she was just so upset that she couldn't get Sid. She's like, you'll do.
And Richard was just like, okay.
I like how, like in the beginning of that episode, he after he pushed Laura to go on the trip, he's like it's like he knew in his head that's what he wanted to do before he even met this lady. Remember when he went over to the house? He's like, oh, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's shady.
And who hits on their neighbor's ex-wife? Like I just feel like that's crossing a boundary that you don't cross.
Especially Sid. Sid's like the best guy. You can't screw him over.
I mean, he's happily married to Karen, so I mean, who cares? I don't like Richard, so they were perfect together.
Yeah, that's true. All right.
I have to rewind a little bit. I feel like the very end of the pilot perfectly showed Richard and Laura's dynamic. There was this at the very end. They did like a pan of every couple. Like Val and Gary were painting their name on the fence, like Ewing. Karen and Sid were in the backseat of the car, screwing around. And Laura was trying to get the lawnmower started, and she couldn't. And Richard tried to be all like manly, like, "Of course you can't start because you're a woman." And then he broke it, and I was just like, "Yes, that shows exactly Richard. He fails at everything."
Just like their finances. Just like their finances, he broke those.
Oh yeah,
are we getting that's right.
I was like, just let her. I'm like, it's okay to get help. But I guess that was 79. So,
how do we feel about the Fairgate children? Do we like them? Do we hate them? Are we indifferent?
I like them. Diana has issues, as you know, but I go back and forth with Diana. But I like them.
I do too. Sometimes I feel like she overacts, like when the scene doesn't really call for it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy her sometimes.
Same here.
I
like Michael. He's a little cutie. The youngest brother.
Yeah, he had some really good like kind of one-liner comedy aspects that.
Yeah.
And you can tell he's a mama's boy too. I was just like,
yeah.
Oh, Karen.
And he sticks around for most of the show, so you kind of see him grow up. So I like that. what's the other one? The other brother's name?
Eric.
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 How
So,
dare you forget Eric.
little piece of trivia: Eric, the actor, died in a car accident.
Really?
Yeah, I think in '89 or '90, and that's why he wasn't in the later part of the show.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think there's actually an episode where what's her name, Michelle Lee, sings and does like a tribute for him. I'm not sure what season it is.
Oh, do they kill him off the show too?
No, he's out of town,
Mm.
so that's a little sad.
Yeah. Way to bring down the mood, Tommy.
Sorry, I just a little piece of trivia. Well, here's another piece of dark trivia. I think the actor that played the teacher in episode 3, I think he died of AIDS.
You're just really trying to bring down queers and soaps, aren't you?
All right.
Should have.
Well,
I should have a.
I
blank
happen
page.
upon this information because whenever I think a guest star or recurring character is cute, I go on Wikipedia. And a lot of times I find out that some of them were gay or they died of AIDS. And
I did the same thing with the guy that's from Days and Dynasty. What was his name? Paul was his name. Yes. Paul something. He was on season 4. He worked in the stables.
Oh, Tony.
Tony, yes, Tony from Dynasty. He was on Days too. He died of AIDS at 30.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he was very open about it and everything too. He was one of the few.
So did Mickey Trotter in Dallas. If you watch further on in Dallas, you'll see Mickey. He died of AIDS too.
And wasn't there an actor like Rock Hudson or something on Dynasty? And it was like a big thing because that the actress that plays Crystal kissed him.
Yeah, they weren't sure, like, could you get it just from kissing or what? And they all freaked out.
Yeah.
The 80s.
Back to Knots Landing.
Get off of
now that we went on a Dynasty tangent.
Maybe have a death episode at one point.
So I feel like Kenny and Ginger weren't really featured heavily.
No, I'm like, when do they get written off? Because they're treated like that type of character that like their ending is coming soon.
They were in the pilot, and then I think they're missing for like 2 or 3 episodes before they appear again.
Oh, I almost forgot about it until I was like, oh yeah, like Ginger's name. It took me forever to remember it because I didn't see her that much.
Yeah.
I did like the episode she did get where she was a front runner or front burner, whatever you call it, when she's hearing the baby sounds and they talk about she had an abort. Like Knox Landing talked about some stuff that you didn't talk about back then. 79 abortion. Talked about Karen was very strong with the environment. I was like, man, have we been struggling with all the same stuff since just the 70s? Damn.
Yeah, well, that's why I love Knots Landing, because even though it is very much of its time, it deals with very human, everyday issues.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't know. I have such an affection for the characters. It gives me the warm fuzzies. Like the only other show that makes me feel that way is One Tree Hill.
Yes. Every time I listen to Drama Queens now, which they've only had 3 episodes, but I'm just reminded of such a great time in my life. Well, and the struggles and everything I went through. But
are you a One Tree Hill fan, Eric?
Yeah, I love One Tree Hill. Although I haven't seen past when Lucas left.
End the call now. No, those are some of the best years of Brooke's life after Lucas leaves. My dogs are named after her.
I bought all the seasons, and but I still never just watched it yet.
Oh.
It's a really good show. I hate season 8 though.
8 is not that bad. I stand by every episode. Oh, with my One Tree Hill tattoo, my dog's name Brooke and Sophia.
Okay, rein it in. We gotta go back to Knots Landing.
I can go on and on about One Tree Hill. That's the show.
It's my show.
So even though the episodes are more, contained in the season, there were little themes that kind of carried throughout the season. The fact that Gary was an alcoholic, you'd mentioned Ginger's episode, and I feel like it was alluded to in the episode where Lily Mae came and they were all thinking about their mothers. Didn't they kind of hint that Ginger had an abortion or?
Yeah, no, yeah, Ginger. Oh, yeah, I think, yeah, it was hinted at, if not talked about.
And then she woke Penny up and was like, I want to have a baby. And that's how their scene ended.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but let's talk about Ginger's episode, since she really didn't have a story in the first season.
She had an episode, though.
And also in the Ginger episode, it was Pam and Cliff's mom that did it to her. That was tormenting her.
Yes. So you don't know this, Aaron, but the actress that played the mother, she plays Pamela and Cliff Barnes' mother in Dallas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For several seasons.
Like they think she's dead and then she's not.
Mm.
And she has this whole other family. And she has a daughter, Catherine.
Catherine.
Who runs Bobby over and kills him. And then there's a whole year and then he's in the shower and that's how that happened. It was all a dream.
It was all a dream.
That's as far as I gotten. I've only gotten up to the dream season.
Could you imagine being cast on season 9, getting your big break, your main character, and then like, oh, we're gonna make it a dream. You won't be here in season 2.
I think there's some characters that became main cast members that season, and then it was just a waste.
I had to be like, fucking Bobby.
Seriously.
What writer decided this?
Not to talk so much about Dallas, but Eric, isn't Jack McKay in that season? Not McKay. Wait, is that the right name? McKay?
Jack
Ewing. I'm thinking Jack McKay now.
Jack Rambo. Yeah, he was also gay and died of AIDS too, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, in the early 90s, I think.
Damn.
Wow. All right, so back on Outlander. So did you enjoy Ginger's episode?
I did. I really liked the little fake out. How you thought it was the teacher.
Teacher?
Yeah, it was just he was short. I can say that because I'm short. Just him following her around and just all like, "I love you, Ginger. I love you." Even though, I mean, he didn't say that, but you get the vibe. At first, I was like, "Oh, what's it? Why is he sending her baby call?" And then it's like, "Boom, that's not it."
What was up with that cop though?
The cop was. Yeah.
Didn't he like come on to Ginger?
I thought the cop was in on it.
See, for a second, I thought, "Oh, the cop's doing it." But I was like, "Wow!" And then it's like, "Yeah, again."
I think I enjoy that episode because it is kind of like a whodunit.
Mm-hmm.
You think it's this person, and you think it's that person.
I love a good whodunit.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's everything except for the finale, right?
Ginger did really good in that episode, so I'm shocked they didn't use her more. Well, I mean,
Which episode did she find Kenny cheating with the singer?
The finale.
That was the finale.
The finale?
Okay.
Yeah.
And the nerve of the girl he's cheating with the call. I was like, girl.
Wait, the bigger nerve when he was trying to get Ginger to pick a headshot of her. What? Balls.
And she was kind of a recurring character, wasn't she? She was at a party in a different episode, kind of hitting on him, and he's like, "My wife's gonna be home soon," or whatever.
That might have been the Ginger episode. I think that was in that one, but I'm not positive.
I would be pissed. He's always having parties at home. I don't blame Ginger for being
and
like,
nowhere to sit but a beanbag.
Yeah.
Right.
If I went to someone's house and all they had was beanbags, I'd be like, I think I'm gonna head on home. I didn't come here to stand the whole night. Well, yeah. Oh, but I loved when she took that stereo equipment and just smashed it. Because back then, that was a good probably 200 something bucks for all that.
Oh, I would say it was probably close to 1,000.
Okay, I didn't want to go that high. It seemed stupid. So I kept it low and was ready to work up. Like Price is Right.
I mean, I feel like VCRs used to be like $200 when they were new.
I just
The only episode we didn't talk about was when Laura had to borrow money from her father to help Richard out.
Oh yeah.
we also didn't talk about when Karen got pregnant.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I didn't like how the daughter, what's her name? I'm blanking.
Diana.
Diana acted in that episode.
I didn't either. I was like, why is the little? I mean, I guess because he doesn't understand the responsibility of it. It's just like all like, yay, baby. Diana's, I want attention too. It's funny though. Like I've been watching Knox Landing, and I didn't realize John was watching as much as he has been. But as we're on our trip, I have my phone set up on the side on the nightstand. I'm laying over, and he's like, "What you watching?" I went, Knox Landing, and he was reading, so he just gently closed his book, set it down, and started watching Knox Landing too. I was like, man, yes, it's like I turned one.
I did not have a success story. After years of talking about Knots Landing to my brother, he finally was like, "Yeah, I'll watch it," and I put the pilot on, and he wasn't a fan. I think he didn't really say anything bad about it, but he was just like, it's very much of its time.
See, I didn't think I was watching the first few episodes. I was kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to enjoy this, but the more I watched, I'm like, all right, I need season 2.
I always think like the first 2, maybe 3 seasons are more of like a character study. Like you're just getting to know the characters and how they operate. And then season 4, it's just like straight on soap.
Right.
No looking back.
I just think it's interesting of soaps in general. They always think, you know what? Let's try the standalone episodes. That'll work. We can make it work. They never do. Never. Melrose tried it. Knox Landing. I feel like Dynasty, the first season was kind of not as dynasty as it turned into, maybe, but
Dynasty was probably more so like a soap than Dallas started out too.
Oh, yeah.
Dallas was kind of standalone.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't know why they try standalone episodes. I'm like, it don't work. Don't do it. Stop. Stop trying to make standalone episodes happen. Throw a little Mean Girls in there.
So Sid didn't want Karen to get rid of the baby, right?
No. But I loved how Karen was like, it's my body. I'm carrying the baby. I was like, you tell him, girl. Tell him. I was like, I know it's 79 and you're probably not going to get a say anyway. I had a feeling though she was going to lose.
It was actually 80. The only episode that was in the 70s was the pilot.
Oh, really? I thought it was,
Yeah.
First season was all 79.
I mean, some of it was probably filmed in 79, but the first episode premiered at the end of December of
All right,
1979.
fine. The 80s. But I was like, she's going to lose the baby because anytime abortion was talked about kind of back then, it's like you may talk about it, but you end up just naturally losing the baby.
The cop out.
Yeah, the cop out.
So that a decision didn't have to be made.
I did like how they also talked about, she's like, I'm too old to have a baby. Because that was something, like kind of interesting. People didn't really talk about stuff like that back then either.
Right.
I think she's supposed to be like in her late 30s.
Oh, I thought early 40s.
Because I think in the teacher episode, she mentions that she's in her late 30s.
Okay, well, I need them to be in their 40s because I'm in my mid 30s now. So, that can't happen.
I actually appreciate that the actors are a little bit older in these shows.
Oh, yeah.
They're not 20-something-year-olds with 15-year-old kids.
I think that's the one reason I like it too. Is as I'm getting older, I'm liking to see like characters a little bit older than me still not have it figured out because it gives me, hope knowing 10 years I'm still not going to have it figured out, but at least I can hope it will be all right.
I mean, is there really anything to say about Laura borrowing the money from her father?
No.
Just that Richard's a failure.
Yeah, it just made Richard look.
Is that the episode where he like stopped and looked at a car even though he didn't have
Yes.
money?
See, I did like that they added that in there though, because it's not so much about him being a failure as he's trying to keep up with everyone else. Like he's trying to show people he's just as good as they are through buying stuff. Because he's like,
Yeah,
Gary and Sid are okay with being normal, just guys, and he wants to be like this kind of. I mean, that'd be a good time to give some backstory into his life. Did his father pressure him to be the best? You know, like you gotta da da da.
I don't know if they ever do go into his backstory.
I was just thinking about that. I think he's the one character we don't really know any like his backstory.
Well, in my backstory for him, he has really overbearing parents who just want him to be the best and, you know, just the best at everything. And that's why he's a dick.
Well, going back to the lie episode, that's one of the episodes where I kind of start to kind of like Richard
Really?
when he's so concerned about Laura and he's making sure that she's okay and he wants to catch the guy. I'm like, okay, this is nice to see this side of him. But then at the end, when they're at the restaurant and he's telling her what she can eat and what pairs right, and she's like, we just had that the other night. Like she cooked the meal that he ordered at the restaurant.
I didn't like though at the end of that episode where like they have this other guy comes up and she's kind of all flirty again. Like it's like I
That's
didn't
my
like
favorite
that.
part.
Really? I was like,
Yeah.
I feel like they were trying to make her out to be like she was asking for it or something.
No, I liked it because it showed that Richard was being an asshole again, and she went outside because she seeks attention from men that appreciate her beauty, and her
Which
work.
is funny because she doesn't have daddy issues. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry. No, I didn't have a dad growing up, so.
Didn't she say something like her mom died and she had to be the woman of the house, and that's what like caused her to seek attention from other men?
Okay.
I like Laura. I forget that I like Laura. She's a very subtle character.
I was gonna say there are moments where I'm like, I don't like she reminds me why I like her, just when I least expect it.
But she doesn't do anything to make me not like her. I just forget that I like her.
No, I feel you. It's also hard because Valene and Karen are such strong characters that they always overshadow Ginger and Laura. No matter what they're in, like those two actresses really, you know, Donna Mills coming in probably, you know, that.
I guess you'll see.
Oh, I know. But like I couldn't imagine Laura and Ginger sticking around much longer once Donna gets there.
I feel bad for Laura because she's in a shitty relationship and you could just see it. She's a desperate housewife. She's so tense and she's walking on eggshells because she just wants to make her husband happy and nothing's ever good enough. And he's such an asshole. I hate him.
That's why she reminded me of Bree so much, because Bree was just always trying to make things perfect for her family, like trying to buy, like earn.
But Bree's husband wasn't an asshole.
No, but her kids were.
I think Bree's OCD had to do with her childhood, though.
You're off topic.
Anyway,
no,
back to not blaming. But so back to the finale. So we deal with Gary's alcoholism for the first time on the series,
and
which I felt was like
deal with it,
kind of like a full circle moment, because Val is kind of keeping an eye on him in the pilot when he's at the bar talking to the guys and he's drinking his club soda and he kind of turns to her and is like, I know they were watching me. How did we feel about this two-parter? Eric, you go. I feel like
he's a scary drunk. I was afraid of him. I was like, well, he's caused some damage, and the way Val acted was the way she acts when she's around JR. Like she's like terrified, like you know that look she gets whenever she says JR. Like that's how she got with when she saw Gary act like that. Mm-hmm. So I was like, he must have been pretty bad, you know, in the past for her to act like that.
Do you think he was abusive in the past?
Yes.
And that's why they separated?
I
He
think
could
so.
have been.
I mean, he hit her during this episode. So what? Once you hit someone, you'll do it. Like he didn't even know he hit her. So if he was that,
I was going to say, did he hit her, or did she just kind of get in the way? And
He got in
well,
the way of the alcohol.
I still see that as a hit because if he wouldn't have been drunk, that wouldn't have happened.
That's right.
that's true.
Yep.
I liked how Laura tried to trick him with the key to the liquor cabinet.
And he's all trying to
I
find.
was like, see, it's moments like that I'm just like, I really like Laura.
She was
She's
kind of
smart.
smiling. Yeah, it's there. It's totally there. I mean, that's not what she said. Like I see it in her head, like my version. She's like, "Oh yeah, it's totally there. Just keep looking. It's there."
Kept
I
him
mean,
busy.
I don't know anybody that's an alcoholic personally. So I don't know how realistic it is to wake up on a beach and steal a homeless person's liquor and chug it the minute you wake up. I just feel like that's not how alcoholism works. I feel like it's you have a drink and then it's like, oh, I'll have more, and then you just keep going. It's not.
I think
I
that's
wake up, I
trying
eat it
to
right
show
now.
that he was that far gone. Like I know some people who are, they won't say they're alcoholics, but they drink every time they turn around. Like they always have some. It's like if you think it's water, don't take a sip because it ain't water. Those kinds of people. But I thought it was kind of,
I mean, I know that it can get to that level.
I thought it was very borderline domestic violence in some ways.
Yeah.
For Val. Because she gave him a second chance, and
Yeah.
which I know it's heightened for television.
Uh-huh.
So
where they had him in the hospital, where he was in bed shaking and having withdrawals, do you think that was a real thing that happened in hospitals?
That is, yeah. I work in a hospital and we have people that are detoxing, which so it still happens today.
In a open room with other people though? Not in like a private room?
No, they're private rooms, but I don't.
it
I
may
guess
depend on where you're at or what kind of facility too, though. Because I know my ex he shut a room when he went to rehab, and the first 2 weeks was pretty much just detoxing.
It reminded me of Dallas with not Cliff Barnes, Digger.
Oh,
When he was in the drunk tank, so to speak, when he was going through withdrawals and Pam went to see him. Actually, I think that was in the episode that we first see Gary and Val, but it's a different Gary.
yeah.
Sorry, no, that guy. He's not my Gary.
And he sells Pamela to the Ewings for $100.
Aw.
I think it was pretty realistic because I've known some mean drunks, and they're mean. Like they don't, all they care about is that drink.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a little over, like him just. I mean, and I really believe that some people would pick alcohol over. I think it was cruel to make Val watch that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like it's probably good for her to see it.
Yeah, I think so.
I've known
Val had a good moment when she meets the woman that he slept with. And
Yeah.
I forget what she said, but she had like a sassy moment with her.
Part of me secretly hoped he didn't, like, he just got so drunk he passed out on the bed and didn't beat on Val because Val's just so sweet, just a good old Southern girl, But we totally know he hooked up with her.
I feel like everybody in the cul-de-sac is just so okay with their spouses sleeping with other people, except Ginger. Ginger don't play.
She busts the windows out your car, or I bust your stereo system. Everyone else is just like, oh, you want to? And it wasn't
all right. We just won't talk about it.
He like sold the car for $400. I mean, maybe back then there was a lot of money.
Yeah. I sold the car.
Was Richard the hero of that episode?
No, he ended up drunk too.
Oh, that's right.
That's how they got back to the house. Was he brought Richard home?
Drunk.
Where's the
Oh,
alcohol?
and then he tried to get
bring
into the
him
liquor
up. Yeah.
cabinet, and Laura was like, "It's there, it's there."
And Richard's just
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
Like he even opens the car door and is like, "Get in!" And Richard's just. I'm like, Gary, you're gonna have to help him. He is clearly way off than you.
So Richard did help in a way, but not really.
He just got him back to the cul-de-sac.
Which then I
Not
guess
getting
then
too
got him
drunk.
to the hospital, so it maybe helped a little bit. I will say that for someone to have been drinking as much as Gary was drinking, can actually get around. Because I know if I had that much, yeah, I would. I'd probably be dead.
Well, that's why they call them high functioning alcoholics. But
Well,
that's people that go to work drunk.
He's very high functioning then, because
I mean, not enough to go to work.
I did like when the dog ran away from him though. He was kind of like, here, dog. I was like, see, it's not, yeah.
And he got mad at the dog too.
He steals the alcohol from the homeless man.
Oh, I felt bad for that homeless guy.
Like he probably spent his last $1 on that bottle, and you're taking it from him.
He's like, my alcohol. I'm like, oh, that's
See, it was like the moments like that I felt were like over the top and overacted.
But see, I love those moments.
I mean, I get that they were trying to drive a point home, but I don't know. I like the finale. It's actually the two-parter is actually one of my favorite stories in the first season. But yeah. So overall, Aaron, what did you think of season 1?
Oh, A+.
A+.
Oh yeah. I mean, I kept going back. Here's how I judge TV now. If I can't finish the whole season because it gets a little boring, I'm like, if I swap to something else, But I didn't swap. I wanted to keep watching.
Okay. Eric, what about you?
As a whole, I thought it was great. Like I said, I thought it brought all the neighbors together. I felt like they got pretty tight from that situation too. Like after that, like they all kind of bonded. I like the relationships that it formed in season 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I think you have a good idea of like the characters by season 2. Like so you can, I don't know, when you watch season 2, Aaron, you'll see that it gets better and better.
Here's how I knew I was like totally obsessed. When my first episode, I think, was it episode 4 that didn't work for me, or 4 or 5? I can't remember.
4's the lie.
Okay, no, that one worked. So 5. I think it was Civil Wives. I think that's the one. That's where it stopped working. I was like, OMFG, Tom.
No, it was the Lily Mae episode because
it was the Lily Mae. Yeah, that's right. And I remember going, OMFG, Tommy, my DVD doesn't work. I've tried 3 DVD players. Send me a link. I didn't know what happened.
I really like season 1, but I'm excited for you to watch more, and I'm glad that you like it because now you can't get out.
Well, maybe part of the reason too is I'm so
Signed. I can't read what it says. What is it?
Eric.
Oh, yeah. Well, that I wasn't showing that, but it's season 2.
I think they only released
Donna Mills.
Nice.
But maybe that's one reason I'm really excited because I know Donna Mills like ups the game for season 2, so maybe that's why I was very excited.
Yeah, now I think I'm gonna start watching along with you.
Okay.
Because season 1, I remember I was able to talk about the whole thing from memory because I've seen it so many times. I'm
that way with One Tree Hill. I could talk about it.
Season 2, it's still episodic, but there are storylines that go out throughout the whole season. So
I don't know about season 3. They have abandoned the standalone episode thing, and it's full on soap. Is what I read.
Yeah,
it not exactly. It's starting to become that, but season 4 is just straight on soap.
I will say though, like Melrose Places, where their little standalone episodes, I was kind of bored. Knox Landing, not so much bored.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Well,
I had to force myself to get through the DVD of Melrose Place season 1 to get to Heather Locklear. I didn't have to force myself through Melrose or Knox Landing.
Right.
well, and I've said this before. I'm not even thrilled with the first few episodes Heather Locklear is on,
Yeah.
but I kind of think of season 1 of Knots like Buffy. Like they just had good standalone episodes.
hmm
Except for Ginger and Kenny. We don't really know too much about Kenny. Ginger got her own episode, but Kenny didn't. He's just a cheater.
I was gonna say slime ball music executive. Really showing us what's to come in the future.
Yeah, I think that
Go ahead.
I think the actress that because Kenny went to what's her name? What was her name in this show? Sylvie.
Sylvie.
He went to Sylvie's place after and said, "Can I stay with you?" I think she does end up in season 2 for a few episodes, like if I remember correct.
Yeah, she does.
So that kind of carries on.
What's sad is I don't like her just because of Kenny. I mean, that's the main reason.
I don't like her just because she is an asshole. Like she called, like you said, she called
That's
Ginger.
true. That's true. She's
Yawning in her
trying to be
face.
nice. I watched an interview. This is about Knox and Joe with the 3 main Karen, Val, and Donna, and they're talking about a reboot. And I was like, "Oh my god, please!" I've only watched 1 season. I already want a reboot or a continuation.
Yeah, they could easily continue.
I mean, I honestly think the show could have went on to like season 20. There's so many generations on that show. They could have just kept going.
Mm-hmm.
And the show evolves with time. Like whatever's going on in the world at that time or whatever's popular.
Yeah,
It's just ever evolving.
I think they could bring it back. Paige Matheson, is that her name on the show?
Mm-hmm.
See, I know
Yeah.
stuff. I know stuff about later seasons. Mainly because I just love Nicholas Sheridan, though. I love him. She could be the main person of it. I would love it.
Yeah.
I'd be there for it.
In Knots Landing, she had to grow on me because at first I wasn't a big fan of the character. I love the actress, obviously, but yeah, her character.
I agree. I also don't like a certain coupling that she's in that's popular.
Isn't she?
The
Doesn't
main
she get with
character?
Alec Baldwin on the show?
No,
Oh, who's she get with it?
you'll have to watch.
You know what I say?
Yeah, you
That
have
fuck
to
you,
watch.
Tommy.
She's with a few fellas, so
Yeah. We'll talk about it when we get there. It's going to be a long time,
The
but we'll get
longest
there.
time, I thought the guy that plays Karen's husband and Nicholas Sheridan, because I didn't watch the show. Like when I would catch it, I always saw them together. I thought they were a couple.
No.
And that's our dad.
Yeah.
I was like, clearly not paying attention.
Well, I know how you started watching Knots, clearly. How did you first come across Knots, Art?
SoapNet.
Me too.
R.I.P.
I remember researching Dallas for some reason because I had never seen it in like the late 90s. I was like, ask Jeevesing it because I didn't know about Google yet. And I actually came across a website that was basically like a fanfic website where they continued Knots Landing.
Oh, that's cool.
And I was like, oh, this was a spinoff of Dallas. I'd never even heard of this. But it wasn't in reruns anywhere. And then when I was in high school, I was like 16 or 17, I couldn't sleep one night and Knots Landing was on at like 2 a.m. And I caught like the season finale of season 3 and I was like, oh, what's going on there? And luckily another episode came on, so I got to see like the story continue. And I was like, oh, I really like this show. What show is this?
Do you think, because Knox Landing was originally like supposed to come before Dallas, like Knox Landing, I think was the original idea. If that would have happened first, would it still have been as successful? Or do you think it needed Dallas to become successful?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Tough question.
Well, the network passed on it apparently, because Knots Landing was supposed to come first.
Well, I thought they passed on it because they wanted a more male-heavy show.
Is that what it
Wasn't
was?
it supposed to be called like Scenes from a Marriage, or it's like based on something called Scenes from a Marriage?
Oh God, if it would have been
And
named
that's what I read.
if it would have been named that, I would have totally turned the channel back then.
Right.
I think I read that the network wanted something more masculine, and that's why they kind of had to do Dallas in order to spin off Knots. But I'm glad that you like it and you're hooked.
I always think it's interesting that network males feel like a female-led show can't be successful. It keeps just time after time.
Well, it was also the late 70s. So
only
the
for like
mindset was different.
Only for like one episode. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I mean when they turned.
I was just kidding. Trying to just be bitchy.
You would think through the 70s that, like with Wonder Woman and Bionic Woman and Charlie's Angels, you would think they'd want a woman show, like a female, strong female.
Maybe that was, they thought they had too many of those at the time.
Maybe, you're probably right. Yeah.
Aaron Spelling was really good with stuff like that back then.
Mm-hmm. Aaron was good.
He was. All Aarons always are.
So, Aaron, you watched the finale this afternoon. Is John going to be upset that you watched it without him?
I don't know. He gave me permission to finish watching it during lunch so that I could be. I was like, I got to be able to talk about it. I got to be able to talk about it. I can't go in there not knowing. So he was like, oh, it's okay. I was like, I'll fill you in. I'll send you a link.
Well, I guess that's all we could say about season 1. Thanks for coming on, Eric.
Yes, thanks
you for having me.
and for your wonderful background. I did that with my One Tree Hill stuff before I created these beautiful backgrounds.
Hopefully you'll come back for a future season.
Sure.
I would love to add maybe some Dallas episodes.
Sure.
That would be great. All right. So until next time, check us out on all the socials. And we'll see you on Mondays, where every week we have a new episode. And check out our bonus footage throughout the week. And we'll see you next time, guys. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.